All right, those were the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. And let's now put the spotlight on startup of the day. Well, Bengaluru-based startup Even Healthcare, which provides facilities such as consultation and hospitalization to its members, has recently raised about $30 million, which is about 252 crore rupees. Now, that funding round was led by Silicon Valley-based Khosla Ventures. In fact, Even Healthcare, the company, which is Bengaluru-based, it was founded in 2020, and it provides facilities such as consultation and hospitalization to its members. In fact, the company has earlier raised $5 million in 2021. It also then raised $15 million in 2022, and this is the latest fundraise coming in from the company. To discuss the fundraise and how the company really plans to grow its offerings even further, what kind of a niche are they expecting to create in the healthcare segment, we're now joined by our guest this evening, Matilde Giglio, the co-founder of Even Healthcare. Thank you very much, Matilde, for joining us this evening on ET Now. I want to first start by asking you, you're into consultations, tests and group insurance, but do explain a bit more about the company. What exactly are you offering? And secondly, how are you looking at deploying this funding?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, it's great to be here. We have a model that has never been done in India before. Even is a managed care provider. Our company is focused on keeping basically people healthy and out of the hospital. We offer, members preventive healthcare, management of chronic conditions, and kind of hospitalization cover, all under kind of one simple membership. So, in specific, as you were mentioning, our membership give you access to unlimited consultations with our in-house team of doctors, or also doctors of your choice, 2 unlimited kind of tests and diagnostics, and 3 hospital cover that is powered by our insurance partners. So our product is kind of designed to make it easier for customers to stay healthy and in a way actively manage health conditions, which is quite unique in the market.
Right, so there's a whole lot of services that you're really looking at, Matilde, but what issues and what gaps exactly are you looking to fill in India's healthcare ecosystem, and how are you really doing business differently from competition?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, people in general think about their health just when things go wrong. So in order for you to kind of change that, you have to make it very easier for the customer and remove kind of all friction that people have. So, for example, by buying an Even membership, you have unlimited access to as many consultations and tests as you want. So we make it very easy for the customer to kind of know what's happening with their healthcare, and we make it very easy for them to speak to the doctors as many times as they actually want. So it's one membership, and through that membership, you get unlimited access to anything from tests to consultations, but also hospitalization if anything were to happen to you. And all of this with a very kind of simple experience, customer experience, and for a price that everybody can afford. We want healthcare to be, proactive, affordable, and accessible, and that's what we're really focusing on.
So you're focusing on making healthcare affordable and accessible. While that's a great goal, but help me understand once again, Matilde, how are you looking at deploying this funding that you've just generated?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are super excited about this funding. Obviously, we have the best investors globally backing us. But more importantly, we have purpose-driven investors. So investors that really care about improving the healthcare system in India. This is a kind of a testament to the progress that we've seen over the past couple of years. We've had very rapid growth. We went from 0 to 28 million in ARR in 1.5 years. We cover over 300,000 families today. But most importantly, members really love the product. So once they buy it again the year after. We have an incredibly high retention. We have a retention of 90% over, 2 years now. So people obviously really, really like it. So we now want to kind of use this money to kind of first strengthen our offering and then invest in our product marketing, and more importantly, into also the healthcare delivery in the form of clinics and hospitals.
Right. Hospital delivery is something that you'll be focusing on besides a whole host of other services like you mentioned. But help us understand, you're currently operating in Delhi, Pune and Bengaluru. Do you plan to expand further other than these three cities, or these three cities will remain your core focus areas for at least some more months?
Yeah, good question. So we're now in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, and we've seen a lot of demand from old cities and also rural areas right now. But we want to really double down and focus on these cities primarily for the coming year. I think there is a massive growth that we can achieve just in those cities alone. But of course, there is so much demand for this product that we're open to also open up to other areas in the country, let's say in 2026.
Okay. And Matilde, now this funding that we're talking about today on the show, this comes in at a time when Indian health tech landscape is getting a lot of investor interest. I think you've been funded by Khosla Ventures. Then there is Antler also, which is pushing its might behind other startups that are in the space and is currently investing. What makes the space really exciting for VCs? And are companies working as a support function to main hospitals? Is that a trend that you see, build up in the healthcare space, or will they have their own offline, hospital care systems? Help us understand this bit.
I think, India health insurance market and Indian healthcare market is one of the most interesting markets globally. It's also the reason why I moved to India in the first place. I think, you can build one of the biggest companies that has ever existed in this market and in this country. You look at what happened to health insurance in China in the past, 10 years as 10x from 15 billion to 150 billion. And really the same thing is happening in India, right? So there is a massive growth in health insurance, 20% growth year on year. There is a massive growth in healthcare facilities, hospitals, the healthcare sector overall, again, 20% year on year. I think it's easy to imagine a company worth 100 billion or more operating in this sector. And that's why, VCs are getting extremely interested in the space. This is why amazing people are working in it. And of course, there is also the very important point of, being extremely mission driven. So founders operating in the space, VC investing, we are all trying to work towards making the healthcare ecosystem better and just improving how it works and making people healthier, really.
Right, $100 billion is what you're estimating the size of the space could be in the next couple of years. But let me talk about your company specifically. Now, your numbers that are publicly available that suggest that your run rate has reached $28 million. How much more are you expecting this year? And I also would like to know, are you profitable yet?
Yeah, what I can tell you is that the growth that we've experienced has been dramatic. We've grown 3x in the past year, and definitely there is room to do exactly the same this year. Our pipeline is insane. We now cover over 200 plus companies, 300,000 families. I can see us grow 2 to 3x this year as well. The pipeline is really, really strong, and yeah, I mean, I can't wait for this year. Obviously, right now we also have a lot of kind of funding to play with, a lot of revenue streams, not only in the sense of the membership, but also through our clinics and hospitals. So I'm really excited about the year ahead for sure.
All right. So by when are you expecting to become profitable?
This year, 2025, sorry. The year coming ahead of us for sure.
2025, you're okay. Okay. Matilde, one final question before we let you go. Now, the idea of growth comes from the fact, growth in this sector particularly, comes from the fact that spending on healthcare and access to healthcare is pretty low in India. India is a very under-penetrated market, like you were also saying. But would you be looking at expanding into tier 3 towns and rural areas where the bigger part of the problem really lies to, for instance, deepen your business further? And if that is indeed the case, then how are you looking at pricing those offerings?
I think you really, this is the most interesting, question that we can think of, the biggest problem, right? We moved here because we want to make amazing healthcare accessible for everyone. But you need to start somewhere. And of course, it is easier in a way to provide this kind of services in areas where you can already have a healthcare system that is quite strong with hospitals and clinics. So that's where we started. Right now, we are opening up our own clinics and hospitals in existing cities. But of course, the mission of this company is actually to provide healthcare for all, including rural areas. Right now, our product basically has higher margin than anyone else basically in the market. And this means that we can, reduce the price for customers. And once you can reduce the price for customers while still keeping the bar very high in terms of product experience, the kind of clinical protocols that you add, the kind of doctors that you have, etc., you can actually target rural areas with an incredible product at a price that they can also be able to afford. The goal overall is to build our own clinics and hospitals also in areas where there aren't clinic and hospitals. And this is extremely in line with our vision to make basically healthcare accessible to 1+ billion Indians.
All right, healthcare accessible to over a billion Indians. Well, that seems to be your mantra. Matilde, thank you very much on that note for joining us here on ET Now, and we wish you all the luck when you speak about penetrating into rural areas, into tier 3 towns and cities and villages, so far as making healthcare accessible is concerned. Thank you once again for joining us here on ET Now, Matilde. Pleasure having you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.